very much for having me. First and foremost, we would like to know, what does entrepreneurship really mean for the mining industry? It is essentially about solving problems, just like every other sector. In the mining industry, entrepreneurship is about solving problems. It's about finding the solutions to the very difficult problems that we face in Africa. So we cannot look at it from the back seat and say, oh yes, I'm interested in the mining industry, but no, it's for men. Oh no, the mining industry is for those who read geology, who read mining engineering, or who are mineralogists. That is very wrong perception. What do entrepreneurs, where do you fit in as an entrepreneur into the mining value chain? You have to, first of all, be interested in what the problems are in the mining industry. And let me correct this myth that mining industry is for scientists. No, it is for everyone. If you're a lawyer, you're needed in the mining industry. If you're an accountant, you are supposed to also be interested in the huge opportunity that there is in the mining industry. We have foreigners seeing these opportunities and coming into Africa across all the mineral value chain, from upstream to downstream to midstream. They are taking advantage of all our challenges in Africa and converting it to business, converting it to opportunity. But we, on the other hand, are seeing it as, oh no, it's a sector not to get involved in. It's a sector that is risky, but that is wrong. So we have upstream opportunities, which you can say majorly would be for exploration experts, would be for geologists, would be for GIS experts, would be for environmentalists like myself. So I'm a woman in mining. I consult for the mining industry. I also trade in the mining industry. So you can also find your niche. It could be laboratories. We are in need right now in Nigeria, where I'm from, my country, my home country. We are in need of laboratories that can operate at international standards. In the whole country, we probably have maximum 3 laboratories that are trying to meet up with the standard that is required for mineral testing. So you see, this is an opportunity. Or it could be that you want to be in the logistics spheres, or the equipment leasing, or the equipment maintenance if you're an engineer in another space, or you want to be involved in safety, or even in catering or accommodation. So we have these opportunities within the mining operations that you should be taking advantage of. And you could be looking at the downstream opportunities in the mining space as well. You may want to be involved in processing. You may want to be involved in recycling or in mineral trading. Huge opportunity when it comes to mineral trading. And that's why we are inviting everyone to take advantage of the huge opportunities that exist within the business around the mine. We need to increase African ownership throughout the supply chain. And we're inviting you to join Women in Mining Africa, because when you join, you get to see the opportunities on a regular basis. You get to have information that you need, and then you are able to key in and be part of the sector. And I was asked, what prevents women from fully participating in mining entrepreneurship? The first thing that prevents you is the lack of interest or the lack of awareness, which is why we are inviting you. If you have a spark of interest in the mining industry, we're inviting you to join the Women in Mining Africa. Another gap that I see, most especially if we want to operate downstream, is technical capacity. We lack technical capacity and the technology that we need. The first problem, in my opinion, is not even access to finance, it's access to capacity. I mean, you're building your own capacity to be able to understand what the sector requires, what are the assets or licenses that you require, what are the markets that are available, what are the procurement opportunities within the mining industry. When you are able to say, hey, I want to have this knowledge, I want to study and check what I should know. It's just like any other business. You don't go into a business without having the knowledge about the business. So once you know the investment networks that are available and the business model that you want to operate in, and which of the streams of the value chain of the mining sector that you are interested in, that is the starting place. After that, you go fully into technical capacity building. depending on your industry or depending on your expertise. But if you are in the downstream, right now what we're lacking is also more women having licenses, being license holders, being mine owners. Yes, we want more women to be involved. We want more women to be processors. We want more women to be laboratory operators. I'm a chemist, so I'm a laboratory operator as well. So you see, I see huge opportunity every time I look into the industry. And I'm inviting the viewers right now to take an interest, to look beyond extraction, to look into the diverse field of mining, mineralogy, and the business of mining and the trade of mining. If you are a GIS expert, we need you. We need digital solutions also, data and digital solutions within the mining industry. And if you are into logistics, it is very, very huge for you. You can look at industrial minerals. You can look at even precious stones. We can look at gemstones. We can look at gold trading and all of the logistics around it. You can pick 4 to 5 countries that you would be interested in working with. And you are able to reach out and say, I'm into logistics for so mineral commodity. And that would be a good starting place for you. I forgot to add occupational health and safety is also a key aspect that has huge opportunity that you can become an expert on. And also, if we look at community development, right now, most countries in Africa, I was in a country last week and I was taking a tour and my heart bleeds to see the mining host communities that are producing gold massively, but they are in abject poverty. There are no schools, there are no roads. Intensity of the poverty is alarming. So, and this is the mining host communities producing millions of dollars of a particular commodity. That is not supposed to be so. So you can profile solution for this particular challenge regarding community development services. We have in Nigeria, for instance, the Community Development Agreement, which mandates the mining industries to develop the communities from which the commodities are being extracted from. That is an opportunity. I have been involved in a lot of community projects and seeing that, yes, the mining industries are implementing according to how they have promised from inception. So governments are also, anyway, that's not the discussion for today, but governments have a role to play, essentially, to make sure that the regulations work, that they are enforced, and we are able to draw maximum value from the mining industry across Africa. Another issue I would like to add, if time permits, is that we need to study the whole value chain of mining, not just pick an aspect. For instance, all of us will just see those women in the pit. Oh, those are the women in mining. No, you are a woman in mining. As long as you have interest along the value chain, you have found the solution that you want to provide, then you are a woman in mining, you should join us. So study the value chain, identify a problem in the industry that is paying to solve. Millions of dollars are being paid to solve mining-related problems. Identify such problems, then develop your competency to solve such problems, and then build an enterprise around that. That is how we can fit in, build ourselves essentially. So regarding the question that has to do with what change we need in the 5 to 10 years in Africa, what change does Africa need to put in place? Well, number one is that we have to move from raw mineral extraction to value addition. And we are not saying that, oh, yes, you must build factories. You must mine the material here and you must refine it here. What if the refining is not profitable? Or what if it's so difficult to refine in your country? Have you thought about that problem? What if there are so many infrastructural challenges? I'm not talking about roads. The Lobito Corridor project is excellent, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking also about the human capital, the human resource capital that needs to be developed as an infrastructure for African mining sector. And I think that as a continent, we should have a 100-year plan, minimum 50 years plan for the solid mineral sector, focused on the solid mineral sector, because the whole world is focused on Africa for this sector, but Africa is focusing less on it. And that is where we begin to now say, oh, foreigners, of course, foreigners have to come in. And when they're coming in with their own human resources, and they're exporting the natural resources. So you see, we have to build capacity and have the human resource capital that is required for the minerals or the solid mineral sector to thrive in Africa. So, and recently at WiM-Africa, we launched a program that has to do with babies from 3 years old. Yes, from 3 years old, they have building blocks to understand that this is how I can build a factory from 3 years old. The building blocks that we buy for them should not just be houses that they are building. They should be building industries. From their mindset, their teachers are showing them, yes, you can, from the pit to processing and then to markets. That picture is very, very essential for our children. That's talking about the generations that are coming. But in this very generation, we can do a lot to also increase processing and beneficiation capacity. It doesn't have to be that in Nigeria, we have to own a gold refinery for Nigeria. We have to own a lithium extraction or lithium flotation industry in Nigeria. No, we can have regional hubs for processing. Regional hubs for processing are better because when you screen through, where can this processing plant or beneficiation plant be located? It might not be in Ghana. It might not be in Mali. It might not be in Rwanda. It might be that you take 4, 5, 6 countries and see where the infrastructural advantage is and where the cost of production will be more friendly. And, most especially also electricity, is a challenge. And where the geopolitical landscape is stable, those are parameters that investors are also looking at to support our businesses in Africa. I'm talking about investors. I'm urging our women in mining to be bold enough to dream big, bold enough to become bankable, improve your bankability, the bankability of your enterprise. I have done a lot of lectures on this. The bankability of your enterprise is what determines whether financing can come to you. So financiers are looking for bankable projects to support. I want our women to pick up that challenge, to look at the opportunity and to prepare themselves, get the knowledge. What is project financing? What do financiers or investors or funding partners, what do they look at? What is it that GFIs want to see when it comes to project financing for the mining industry? So you have to build your enterprise to that level that it is attractive for to increase the opportunity that the enterprise can get in terms of having investors to develop. So back to my earlier point, we have to strengthen intra-African mineral trade. We have to leverage different countries' comparative advantage when it comes to developing regional African mineral value chains. We have to leverage on that. This is very, very important and it is critical. Local content must mean more employment to our people, that the communities are developed, that the ownership of African enterprises are mostly by women and children is on the rise, and we must be able to measure success by the value we retain in Africa. The value that we retain in Africa, and not the tons, 1 million tons with 500,000 tons of so mineral have been extracted and exported. That is not success. That is not success. So we have to look at our unique factors within Africa and be able to see that Africa's success should be measured not by the tools that we export, but by how much economic value we bring to our people. And when we say women, we are not saying women should benefit from being in the, we are part of the economic value chain for the Africa solid minerals. We are not just beneficiaries of the sector. We are business owners. We are driving trade. We are driving processing. We are driving partnerships. within the mining space. So in summary, if I'm to answer regarding the problems, the entrepreneurship opportunity, how we can take advantage, you have to ask the question, what problem am I solving? Who needs the solution to this problem that I can solve? And will they pay for it? I assure you, they will pay heavily for it. So let's develop genuine competence and see how we can take advantage of the mining industry. If you have any questions for me beyond this session, you can drop it in the chat box, and let's see together how Africa must move from not what we're doing right now, which is simply extracting the minerals. No, we must move to creating value, to retaining the value, and make sure that we have the greater value for those resources that have been extracted. So thank you very much. You can get in touch with WiM-Africa by sending us an email to secretariat@wimafrica.org. Thank you.